Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. I am super curious, and honestly, I'm just ready to dive in and learn all about our topic for today, which is climate change.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking really closely at climate change. We'll explore both the serious problems it causes and, well, the really exciting promises of human innovation. We are going to take this nice and slow so it's easy to follow along.
So, here is our roadmap for the conversation today. First, understanding climate change. Second, impact on food systems. Third, the Vietnam farming crisis. Fourth, hope through sustainable technology. Fifth, Australia's renewable energy success. And finally, number 6, a choice for the future. Let's get started. Okay, Section 1, Understanding Climate Change, a Global Shift. So, just to build a solid foundation for us, I really need to ask, what does climate change actually mean for the world today? That is an absolutely excellent place to start. Climate change means a few very different things all at once. Yes, it creates devastating global impacts that hurt the Earth, but because of that huge danger, it also drives incredible human innovation. Humans are quite literally forced to invent new solutions. And most importantly, it requires immediate action. We just do not have time to wait around.
Right, that makes sense. Let's move to Section 2, Impact on Food Systems, a Growing Crisis.
When we think about basic human survival, like our food, how does this actually hurt us directly?
Well, to truly understand the damage, we need to look at a very strong English phrase, to wreak havoc. This simply means to cause great damage, destruction, or confusion. And sadly, that is exactly what climate change does to our global food systems.
We actually see this havoc happen in a few key ways. First, unpredictable weather patterns. Farmers just do not know when the rain or the heat will come anymore. Second, we see more frequent natural disasters like massive floods and storms. And finally, because of all this, millions of livelihoods are affected. People are losing their jobs, and they're losing their food supply.
Wow, okay. Section 3. The Vietnam farming crisis, a real-world struggle.
Hearing about it abstractly is one thing, but can you give us a concrete, real-world example of this agricultural crisis?
I certainly can, but first, we really need to understand what it means to be vulnerable. This means to be easily hurt, damaged, or at risk of failing. You see, when the weather is unpredictable, the old, traditional farming methods are no longer safe. They become very, very vulnerable.
For instance, let's look at the situation in Vietnam. We have a quote here. In Vietnam, many farmers have struggled to maintain their crops after employing traditional farming methods that are vulnerable to climate change. The absolutely crucial point to take away here is that traditional methods just cannot survive this new extreme climate. The old ways of growing food in Vietnam are failing because the weather is far too harsh now, and this directly threatens the very food everyday people need to live. That is definitely a tough reality. Section 4, Hope through Sustainable Technology, Building Solutions.
I have to ask, is there any hope? Can this problem actually be fixed?
Yes, absolutely. There is a lot of hope, and we find it in something called sustainable technologies. These are new inventions that provide exactly what we need today, but without harming the Earth's future. By carefully studying the environment, we can actually invent tools that help us manage this crisis.
And these technologies offer some truly powerful benefits. They help mitigate or lessen the harsh effects of global warming. They actively reduce the greenhouse gas emissions going into our air. And ultimately, they protect our planet's fragile ecosystems. Oh, that's great to hear. Let's look at Section 5, Australia's renewable energy success, leading the way.
So just to balance out the terrible farming crisis we just talked about, who is actually doing this well right now?
To see this promise in action, we should talk about cutting-edge solutions. The term cutting edge describes the absolute most modern, advanced, and innovative stage of development. Basically, it means the very newest and best technology available in the world. For example, let's look at Australia. Quote, in Australia, many researchers have successfully developed innovative renewable energy systems after employing cutting-edge technologies to combat climate change. End quote. They are truly leading the way by inventing brilliant new tools to fight the problem head-on.
That is so inspiring. All right, our final section, Section 6, a choice for the future, looking ahead.
So, to wrap this explainer up, it all really boils down to a very clear contrast. On one hand, we have the problem. Like we saw in Vietnam, traditional farming is vulnerable and failing. The climate is winning there. But, on the other hand, we have the promise. Just like in Australia, cutting-edge renewable energy is providing real, workable solutions. Human innovation is fighting back. It is literally the difference between remaining vulnerable and actively innovating.
And this brings us to the very end. I want to leave you all with a final, rather powerful question to think about. If we choose to invest heavily in climate change research, can climate change actually be effectively managed? The choice really is ours. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and keep learning.